Hello and welcome back to another episode of RIMWORLD, the New Eden Colony. My name is Tobal, and last episode we did get away with two new people in our base. One is a recruit named Bert. Bert is a medical and intellectual person, a scientist basically. So Bert, because Bert does not have the same trait as Azazel, which is the night owl, Bert is going to be working the research during the day, while Azazel will be working the research at night. So this is really, really good for us. And Bert is also a medic, of course, so that helps out overall in general. And I think I'm also going to take Azazel off medical duty, because now we have two really high-quality medics at this point. So we also grabbed somebody else named Worm. Worm was someone who raided us, and I liked the amount of mining they have. They have 14 mining. They're also really geared for mining. They are a undergrounder, so they don't have a negative if they're in darkness for an extremely long time. And they also have a really high construction skill. So we made sure not to kill them last episode when they did attack us, and what we're going to do right now is continue working on pulling down their resistance level so that they can be recruited. The downside of recruiting Bert was that we do have negative factions with their original group, which was the League of Histocoder. That's negative 24 now, and it was at 0. So that'll hurt a little bit. Now, they might even deign to raid us here, but hopefully we can try to repair those over time. We are getting some of our potato plant coming through. Who is our planter? Adnamir. Now, Adnamir should be dealing with this pretty soon. It looks like we've got plants out in the open. Well, Adnamir won't necessarily haul them. Adnamir will wind up, continuing to harvest. It looks like everything's coming to harvest at the same time, which is part of the issue. We need to have somebody else start doing some carrying and delivering. Why don't we have Logan do a bit of hauling for a while? That might work out, because Logan is only doing construction, and at the moment there's not much to construct. We did have this little room that we finally finished. Now, of course, I say that, now we're going to need something built. We'll micromanage Logan and have her work on this bed for the new person, Bert. Like I mentioned before, eventually we plan to extend the base up into the mountains a bit. And we were talking last episode about possibly relocating the farms over to this side of the river and having a nice little bridge. So I might do that at some point, but we would need to have everything cleaned out here. So hopefully once Worm is all set, it'll really let us start to expand very, very quickly. Okay, so Logan is taking care of all the hauling right now, which is great because we need to have these crops out of the open. We also wound up expanding this little kitchen area. So this is what? This is the wide wooden floorboards. I'm going to rearrange a couple of things here. And I'm going to add in the production for fermenting barrels. So what we can do for fermenting barrels is, of course, make our own liquor. Make our own hops or our own beer, what have you. So we will probably make a nice line of these. I'll put the electric stove over here. We might not even need that many, to be honest with you. I'll put the butcher's table kind of facing this way. Maybe I'll put the electric stove facing up so we can fit something else in here as well. I think you actually do need a brewery. Like a new... Yeah, we do need a bench for that. So we'll put this over here. That should be fine. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's like an extra step or two. It's all so close together at the end of the day. It's all good. We have quite a lot getting harvested. Unfortunately, everything came to pass at the same time. Maybe I'll just say don't sow. That way we don't overdo it, and we stick with focusing on our potatoes, our cotton, and our hops. What month is it? It's already summer. Oh, it's permanent summer. That's right. We have 60 days of harvesting here. Well, we don't want to actually stop sowing then. We probably need to have a couple people work on growing, though. Maybe a couple more than we already had. I'm going to bump the plant skill down a notch. Friendly AI from your past named Charlton Whitestone has sent you a message. There is a hidden starship. You'll have to start it up and then defend it from raiders. So this is kind of a final boss kind of a thing. This should hopefully let us escape the planet. The game used to make you leave by building your own, so maybe this is an alternative method? I'm not really sure. Where are we actually in this grand scheme of things? I don't remember what our home looks like. We're dead center here, so this vessel is all the way on the coastline. This is a long journey. This would be a we abandoned everything and make our way there. We had a cargo pod drop just now. What do we have here? We wound up getting some packaged survival meals. Not too shabby. I'm hoping everyone can really focus on getting these crops out, because we have a lot of crops that need harvesting that we really don't want to go bad. We also need to, at some point, have people focus on Boxer a bit, because Boxer is starting to lose some of the taming, and that's not going to be great for us if we lose Boxer. I mean, it won't be the worst thing in the world, but I'd feel pretty bad about it. Now, Bert has the smallest of interest in this, opposed from everyone else, so maybe that's just something that's going to have to be ground up from nothing. What about Worm? Do you have any animal skill? You also are at a 1. So let's go ahead and have Bert maybe take the animal part. The animal handling is his next level priority. So that way, he'll always wind up trying to work with Boxer, and then he'll go do research. He'll also try to tame anything else out there, but we'll try not to tame anything for quite a while, because no one has the skill, really, at this point. Let's drop a light inside here. We're probably out of steel again. Oh, actually, we're out of components. Just as bad, really. We do need a lot of components in this game. Let's go ahead and also give an order to mine out this chunk and this chunk. So whoever gets to it eventually will pop some components out of those areas. The gold in the map is actually not gold per se. This part is compacted machinery. So it's like, I don't know, a satellite fell from the orbit one day, and then, you know, it's been edged into the mountain. It's just locked in there. So I'm actually going to try to get as many of these nodes as I can already marked. So at some point when our miner does come out of it, or we do get a miner out of recruitment, they will be able to immediately start working on that order. Otherwise, yeah, it looks like Cyberdank is making the food. Logan is doing the hauling temporarily. Cyberdank is also trying to do like this balance between fighting or planting and making food. Pretty happy with this right now. Bert is a little grumpy. Why are you upset, Bert? Why don't you like life? You do have a bed now. Oh, you're greedy for an impressive bedroom. That's annoying. Okay, we're going to have to give you Adnamir's room. Sorry, Adnamir. Hope you didn't mind that. This is going to go to Bert. Unassigned from Adnamir. That means Adnamir is going to pick their own bed, or not. They're going to just get grumpy about it and try to take their own bed. Unassigned Adnamir. There we go. Not going to be super great for Adnamir, but at least this person, hopefully, if we maybe put in a couple of nice things, maybe they won't be too upset. Now, I don't think greedy requires you to have the nicest room. I think it just requires you to have a nice room in general. Give them a little table and a chair, maybe a square plant box here, just something to spruce up the place. It is a bit dirty, so it's not exactly the happiest location to be in. Okay, so the next couple of episodes is probably going to be kind of a reconsolidation part where we have to recover from that fight. We need to recruit Worm. We need to continue grinding. Oh, wow, they barely have any resistance remaining. I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to recruit. A lot faster than I thought it would be. We can take this off medical now. Azazel is using that as her own, I think, anyways. Nice. So Worm's recruitment chance, or his resistant to recruitment, is now gone. So we're about to get ourselves a full-time miner, which is going to be amazing because we can really power through some of these areas. And, oh nice, we were able to build this wall here a while ago. I think I completely missed that part. By the way, some of the icons up here are enabled or disabled by these down here. So I think it's, this is kind of an organized resource readout on the left side. So if you have everything separated, it would look like that. This is a little bit more organized. It tells you roughly how much food or how many berries you have in the areas. Wow, did we give somebody... Oh, that's just how much food we have. We have 4,000 corn, and we have 1,000 or so potatoes. So corn takes longer to grow, but you do get quite a bit. Once again, I'm going to bump this ambient down because these storms come in out of nowhere and they are loud as all get out. I think I'm going to start giving some orders to prep our area on the other side across the river. And we got Worm. Nice. Okay, so I need to set these to not prisoner, not medical, so that these could be a room that some people use. But yeah, we've got Worm here. You've got a couple gunshots. Sorry about that. Adnamare shot. Adnamare. Boy, Adnamare just wrecked this guy. Adnamare seems to have gotten all the shots in. You're wearing ratty apparel. I can understand that, so you're a little upset. Can we put down a production bench to make tailoring? We can. Maybe we'll do that. Let's put the tailoring bench down. And we have so much cloth. That's part of the reason I did early cotton, so that we could make extra clothing in case we recruited anyone with tattered stuff. Otherwise, Worm, let's work on your work schedule here. You've got ones across the board. We won't give you Warden because we already have a couple of those. You have passion for handling animals, so I'm going to give that to you. So that's the first thing I want you to be doing. Then I want you to be mining, and then constructing, and then helping out with things around the base. If you're not familiar with the game, anytime there's a fire inside of the home zone, your characters will all rush out. Whoever has that job of firefighter will rush out to basically stomp on it to try to put it out, which is kind of cool. So it is nice to have a lot of people on firefighter duty. Let's see, we got hop, cotton, potato, corn. Is there anything else we can put in? Heel root. Let's drop a crop of heel root in here, because having a stockpile of heel root will help us manage some of the lesser wounds with those instead of spending our important medicine and kind of rare medicine at this point too. Man, I feel like it's a hurricane here. Alright, we're already getting raided again. This is pretty intense. A lot faster than I'm used to. This is part of the fact that we are... Hello? Alright, we've got 2 or 3. Now, these have pistols. This will be a bit more of a challenging fight. We need everyone to come back to base immediately. I think they're going to come from over here, so we'll use this side of the defenses. Glad these are here. I didn't check, but Bert, Logan, did you guys come with weapons? You have a knife, you have a melee attack, and do you have any shooting? You really don't. You've kind of got melee skill. Bert, you have some shooting. Let's go ahead and have Bert grab the bow. And I'm going to have Worm come over here and grab this knife. Okay, it's better than nothing. Really wish we had this dog right now to help us, you know, kind of be a supplement to our forces. I think they're waiting for their attack. Is that the case? And we're missing Azazel, who's on the way over. That's why we couldn't move there, by the way. Okay, one of them is a little bit confused, which is good for us. Well, I don't like that part. Let's have Worm and Bert break off. I always just get a little bit worried about friendly fire here. I think if your characters are right behind each other, they don't actually have friendly fire issues. We also got cargo pods in the middle of all this. We wound up getting, ooh, Nutramine. Nutramine is the pronunciation, I'm not sure, but Nutramine is basically a drug that's used in a lot of other things like medicine or really strong drugs. So very important for us to have. We're doing good. The problem tends to be as these raids continue getting stronger and stronger, they start coming with better weapons, and you're just kind of left, you know, with whatever it is. Okay, we successfully defended against this raid. I'm actually going to have our folks chase this guy down a bit. Moody. Mad Eye Moody. Let's see if Worm can catch up at all. Oh, nice. Someone grabbed a shot from like 3 miles out. Let's see if Bert and Ernie here can finish him off. Oh my gosh, if you friendly fire Worm, I'm going to be so upset. Aren't you a jogger too? Oh, you are. You're actually faster. You can run people down. All right, let's actually have Bert stop firing here. We'll send everyone back to their normal duties, except for Bert. And Bert just shanked this guy. Nice. So this person is kind of useless. They've got, they're unable to do skilled labor or hauling. Really? That negates them from pretty much everything. They're artistic and they have some melee skill, but not worth for us to capture them, I believe. So I just wanted to punish them and take their weapon because they did attack us and they have the gall to do that. I'm even gonna strip them down here. Yeah, that's what you get. You mess with the bull, you get the strip search. So we'll grab these corpses too, and what they had on them. We'll eventually bury them in the grave sites here. Not a bad second or third raid. Actually, it's our third raid at this point. Not too shabby. We need to start having people work on cleaning too. Maybe I'm going to give that job to everyone as a high priority. That way everyone does it, and it doesn't quite feel as painful. Great. So now the next couple of raids, though, are going to start to get pretty hairy, and we need to think about bigger defenses down the road. The problem is a lot of this is so opened up. The river's going to be challenging too, because that would be the most natural place to funnel people up this way. I mean, maybe I could make it so they have to walk through the water. That would be kind of neat, kind of clever. We'll see if we can wait until we get these sandstone walls done. We're already about halfway done with our research into microelectronics, and I hope with that research boost. Now, here's the thing: I'm a trading off, right? Instead of actively trading or actively researching turrets right now, I am having, well, number one, I'm having Azazel clean, which is not helping, but I'm also having them research a much higher level research bench. So it might not be the smartest thing to do, but we're already halfway there, so I'd like to commit for the rest of it and see if we can get through it. So Azazel's going to continue to clean up the base, and hopefully we don't have any more raids for a minute. I mean, it's not terribly overwhelming. It's just that the raids are going to continue to happen at that frequency and only increase in number. So eventually we're going to have people with grenades and fire bombs, and you're still only going to have people with rifles. So it gets a little hairy after a bit. What about defenses on the sides? Do we just want to have everyone come down from the side? I think that might be smart. What if we just have an order to build a wall? Build a wall. We'll do that. We'll do a double order for the wall here, and I will leave this open so that our builders can get to both sides of it. Eventually, I will close that off. Here, I'd like to disassemble this area and start rearranging our farms. Oh, you know what? Could somebody please prioritize this neutronamine? Because that needs to be pulled back to base very, very quickly. I don't want that to ever spoil. That's a super, super strong ingredient. I believe it's in medicine or in some of the more advanced drugs. So it's pretty much a benefit. Hey, Worm is finally out doing some mining. Did you already get all that? No, you didn't yet. I did have some orders to cut into the compacted machinery, but you're not there quite yet, which is no big deal. You'll get there over time. But we do need a lot of steel, so this is going to be very, very helpful. Did you actually make it with Boxer? Were you able to make that next level of training? Nope. That's going to have to be a priority for a lot of people here. We're going to have to train Boxer as often as possible. I might even have to give this to Bird as well to make sure someone's always trying to interact with Boxer. I really like this stockpile mod, by the way, that lets you stack more things in one area. I mean, if you think about it, right, like 750 loose potatoes would be all over the place, or corn. But if you nicely stack them vertically, I bet from ground to ceiling, you could probably get a couple hundred of, or sorry, this is hops, but like, 500 potatoes or 750 pieces of corn, or whatever it is. I bet because you think this tile goes from ground to ceiling. So if you stack everything really nicely, then yeah, I think you will be able to get that many. There's also a mod that adds shelving to your frozen areas, and I might even pick that up. I really like it. I'm a big fan because they're really nice to look at. It makes your kitchens feel a little bit less like you're just stacking food on the floor. We found a bunch of random jade over here, which is cool. I think you could use that as part of art. I don't actually know what jade comes in handy for. I mean, you can make things out of jade, obviously, but so let's drop the stone cutters table. We meant to do that ages ago. Not really hurting anything, but we wanted to eventually replace all of the hallway with stone tiles, and then probably the other rooms as well. And I'll always probably keep wood inside of everyone's room because wood is just looks a little bit nicer, makes a little bit more sense. Or actually, oh, we have not researched carpet yet. There is actually a research for carpet, and we do have a lot of cloth, so that might be a nice idea. Nice, quiet, peaceful evening here. Of course, it's interrupted by a low psychic drone. Psychic drones basically do some kind of like a psychic interference with a certain gender, and there's levels. There's various levels of intensity. So some people are fine with it. Some people, it'll drive them absolutely bonkers. So this will give our men of the colony a little bit of a negative moodlet for a while. So it can really become, especially if you're having a rough time with your colony, if you get a very strong psychic drone, it can really mess with your day. Hardcore. We're working on getting some of this plasteel out. They have a lot more health, I guess, in terms of like when you're mining them out, so it takes a long time for that to come through. I guess I'll also give Worm the order to start start like digging out the way we want to have our base down the road here. Probably about to here. This would clear out this entire section, make everything nice and flat. Was also talking about doing a bridge over here, so I think I'd like to have a bridge go from something like here across. Is there any spot where we can make it nice and even? I guess down here it would have to go. That's fine. We can actually get rid of this area because I'd like to also put in a wall for this location as well. That way we hopefully can redirect attackers. Now, the problem is this will work with most attackers. Where it fails is it comes into play with sappers and people who are saboteurs. They will try to just go to the narrowest part of your wall and blow it up, and they will succeed. So that's a bit rough. Bert's having a real negative time. Greedy for an impressive bedroom. Awful bedroom. Slept in the cold. A low psychic drone. So Bert's not having a great day overall. All the men are probably going to start struggling after a bit. I don't think this is in our home area. That's why we're not responding to it. I'm actually going to clear the home area down here. Not a big deal for the most part. It's raining, so that fire won't spread too bad. We probably also want to think about, well, if it's permanent summer, even a cold snap might not hurt us too much. If you're in a cold climate, you have an event possibility called a cold snap. And the cold snap will turn your temperature down by like 10 to 15 to 20 degrees outside, and of course that seeps into your buildings and makes everything really, really cold. I believe, now, I don't actually know if this is a thing, so if any of you are super familiar with RimWorld, let me know. Does double insulating your buildings help? Like, if I had 2 layers of walls, does that reduce the amount that energy escapes from our building? I've never figured that out. I've never seen it in action, so I'm very curious to see if that's a thing or not. What else do we have going on? Everyone's going to sleep. Azazel is taking over the night shift. We're starting to build our walls up. So yeah, we will be funneling people into this general vicinity. So perhaps, if this is going to be our farmland and our base might only extend out to here, maybe we make this area the entrance or the kill box. That would require yet another set of walls here. But we can continue to reinforce those over time. Again, the only the part where we have to be careful about is with saboteur raids, because they will come and destroy your wall and generally be a pretty big nuisance. Adnamare has courted Azazel by making observations about vacations, which is, of course, just what Azazel was looking for. So that's nice to see Azazel getting some love, even though Azazel's on the night shift. That's a bit rough. Yeah, so she actually does have a permanent moodlet that she is frustrated that she's not a machine. Who has the... Wait, did the body purist marry or get... Yeah. So Azazel, the transhumanist, is sleeping with Adnamare, who is the body purist. So perhaps down the road, that'll be a problem. I wonder if the lover of someone who has a bionic arm, if the lover is purist, if they get upset that their partner has a bionic limb. That would be pretty awesome. I don't see a permanent moodlet here, but I think what happens is if you wind up adding something to Adnamare, they get very, very upset. Now, I don't know if it's like a peg leg or anything at all, or if like maybe, technology-wise is what they get upset about. All right, the psychic drone is over. Let's have our socialite go over to chat with Philly, our used car salesman. This is a combat merchant. We could sell... I'm going to sell some of the poor quality items here that they actually want. We also have... Yeah, it's about to turn like a poor quality pistol. It's 50% pistol, no big deal. We could buy a sniper rifle from them. It would... no, we could not. There's no way to afford that. And I don't think we can sell them anything that we have enough of to make the difference up. Wow. Only $8.25 per medicine item. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty cheap medicine, to be honest with you. They do have some marine armor and shield belts and stuff like that, which is nice, but we don't have any money to afford it. So we'll go ahead and make that trade. And they basically drop the silver as where they are, so we have to have someone haul that. And I will prioritize it to make sure that it doesn't get forgotten about and run away with anyone. Almost have our farmers back up to speed. It took Adnamare quite a while. Of course, everything came to harvest around the same time, so that didn't help things. So perhaps we will get a better balance down the road and be able to add someone else to the farming side of the house. I did increase the priority for everyone, so hopefully by the next couple of harvests, life will be a little easier on our farmers. Not everything will come due at the same time and things like that. So our walls are being built up, both sides here, which is awesome. Are we about out of wood? We are actually completely out of wood. Our manager now should have been giving us orders for more wood. Do we need to address that again? I think they lost the order for manager. I'm going to give everyone the order to be manager that has that skill. This is our first request. So in the new update in 1.0, or maybe recently right before that, you now have requests from other settlements to come trade. What? Human leather? Y'all are messed up. Y'all need beep. I'm telling you. I mean, that's worth a ton of money. But I don't think I'm going to go around skinning humans because I don't just feel like that's going to fly for me. God, human leather. That is twisted. Are they cannibals? Was that who offered that to us just now? I guess not. I didn't see. Oh, here it is. Caravan request. Toxos. Where are we at here, folks? Right in the middle. Toxos. Yeah, of course you'd want human leather. You guys aren't you guys like cannibals or something? Toxos is, can I see? They're yellow. What's that faction? The yellow faction. I'm looking in the upper left-hand corner here is where you can actually see all these different colors. Yeah, they're the colon. Yeah, nomadic people who like to eat and wear human skin. Well, that's a bit of a jump to say they eat human skin, but hell. Or they eat human meat. But good night. I mean, we could do it. We could totally skin a human corpse. I just have to think that's going to come with some kind of a horrible moodlet. And do we really want to make Cyberdank deal with that? I don't think I want to put Cyberdank through that. Says the guy who is willing to make Beep stand in a pile of acid to cut his legs off. Hey, you know what? Different game, different morals. Our power situation's doing surprisingly well. Everything is running off one generator and a bunch of batteries right now. Hopefully this other Jenny will be done soon. We're waiting on components, but we do have a couple of mining orders for Worm to get to down the road. So, hopefully that'll be a thing and we'll be good to go later on. Our caravan friends are leaving. Our walls are being made. Life is looking pretty good. I might give some orders to chop the wood down in this zone because we are going to want to move the farming here. And the more I think about it, the more I like this because we can really lock this off. Now, granted, some sappers can come through here. Now, if the sappers come through here, they're going to get ambushed, hopefully, by the bugs. So that could actually turn out in our favor. This wall, the weak point, of course, is right here. Now, this is... You don't think this is too narrow, but I have seen them spend time digging through a 4-wide tunnel just to avoid the rest of your base. We could also continue to expand out the wooded area, the wooded wall, and we'll put an outer wall down the road. We'll put a stone wall up once we start making more or any stone blocks. I believe they have overall higher health. I don't know if it's going to do too much for us. We have to be a little careful that there's no cave-ins here. I don't quite recall how far away something has to be from a wall before it falls down, but it looks like this has been open for a while and nothing's happened. Alright, Worm, after you're done there, I want you to start working on the internal hallway. Of course, you immediately start doing it. Why do you keep stopping? What are you doing that's not letting you just stick with it? He's doing like one thing, and he's cleaning. Okay, got it. Let's ease up a bit on that cleaning job for everyone. When we get another character, maybe we'll get a rescue or someone that we just don't care too much about. We'll try to make them our general body, so they're the one who's always cleaning and always hauling. It's, you know, it's hard to it's hard to justify that at the early game. It is important to keep your rooms clean because people get upset when they're not. It's also important to keep things hauled because otherwise things stay outside and start to rot because they're out and exposed to the to the world. So it's useful to have that happen, to have the cleaning job and have someone who's dedicated to it. It's just, you know, that's someone who's consuming food and not giving back to the community. So maybe we get more of a general laborer, someone who can help with construction, farming, mining, and then we just have them work on cleaning. So whenever they don't do A, they wind up doing B, C, or D. That sounds like a fun plan to me. All right, folks, I think I'm going to wrap up this episode here. It's a little quieter of an episode compared to the last one, but I think we might be due for another raid fairly soon. Next couple of episodes, we are going to slowly start shifting our base design and moving it more towards the stone, and the farms, we will move them over across the river once everything is ready for us. Thank you all for joining me for this episode of RimWorld, and I do hope to see you again next time.